Hello everyone and welcome to Up Supercast, the only podcast that is ready to talk about Pokemon week after week after week after week. I'm your host Muzzy, and joining me today is Brandon.
And that's why I joined this podcast, just because I love Pokemon.
Ills.
What a god-awful podcast.
And Zaf.
I'm so happy there is a reason for me to brush my teeth now.
Yeah. There is a reason for you to brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Which, I guess we can just get right into it, eh? Because, well, there was a lot of news this week, but, as we like to do, we love Pokemon on this podcast.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Let's
Yes, we don't.
just
Absolutely.
go
No, we don't.
straight into that. And there was a Pokemon Presents presentation. It was basically a Pokemon Direct, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah.
Unveiled games for mobile, unveiled games for Switch, unveiled games for both. Gave us some updates. And let's just start with the biggest announcement, I would say.
Pokemon Smile.
Yeah. No, a new Pokemon Snap. So,
Oh,
it
shit.
is, as the name implies, a new Pokemon Snap game.
Bad name.
This is, similar to New Super Mario Brothers or, I don't know, new Nintendo 3DS. Nintendo really likes that.
Yeah, I thought we were done with that moniker. I really was hoping that we were.
I mean,
but guess
I
not.
think for Pokemon Snap it works. Hey, I want a new Pokemon Snap game, everyone said, and Pokemon Company took it literal. Here's new
God.
Pokemon Snap.
Do they not want to call it 2 because it's been so long now?
Yeah, it's been so long, and you just want, I don't think people will get confused with the name because it'll be the only Pokemon Snap game in 20 years.
Yeah.
So I don't think so we saw a trailer of it. Bandai Namco is developing it. It has very pretty graphics, I would say. And it's a Pokemon Snap game. They said that you will be going through multiple islands, plural. So I'm gonna guess that this won't be as content light as the original game, right? The original game, as beloved as it is, we can admit it was only about 4 hours long for a full price game. It's a little, maybe the
I will
value
admit that all
proposition
day.
wasn't necessarily there, but hopefully this new one will. What do you guys think? New Pokemon Snap game. I know, Brandon, you're not the biggest fan of Pokemon Snap, but
I mean, the thing is, my problem with Pokemon Snap, I mean, we've gone over it before, I don't know about on this podcast, but, like you mentioned, it's just light on content, and, when I was a kid, I felt like I got ripped off when I bought it, or not even, I didn't buy it, I got it as a gift, and so I felt like I got ripped off. I was like, wow, that's it? That was the whole game? But, looking at, obviously looking back at it, I did have fun for what I played. It was a fun time. So I can see why people wanted a new one. I'm not a huge fan on it. I know there's some people who absolutely love it. For me, I am though excited to play a new one just because it's a fun concept, and I think it expanded on correctly, and it could, be even better. So, I'll play it. I mean, I'm a sucker anyway. I was going to fucking play it regardless. So, here we go. Let's do it.
here we go.
I mean, I generally like the first Pokemon Snap. I think there's some problems with, the repetitiveness of, going through the same levels over and over, and you don't get the speed up option until, very late in the game.
Yeah.
But
there's only 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Levels, I mean.
Yeah. But I like the conceit of it, and for the most part, the various things you had to do to, get the Pokemon to react in a certain way. So I hope the game expands on that portion of it. But it looks really good.
It's weird for me because I think I would have been more hyped for it if it came out on the Wii U and tried to use that fucking gamepad in a much better way.
Yeah, sure, it was perfect for Wii U, but hey, it's coming to a platform that is much more successful.
True.
And it still works, right? I think the Switch, the gyroscope on the Switch, you won't be able to do, the 2 views that the Wii U have, right? But you'll still be able to, use your Switch as a little camera, right? Move it around with the gyroscope.
I'm sure you can. And I'm sure you can probably use the controller consoles in some way as well. They'll probably make a decent game. No, they'll probably make a good game out of it. But for whatever reason, I feel as though I would have been more excited with the gimmick for the gamepad, on the off chance it's a cool thing to experiment with, and also it kind of helps justify this fucking product that I bought as well. So
Yeah, well,
Too
it's too
late.
late for that.
yeah.
Let it die, Seth.
Pokemon Snap, a new Pokemon Snap excites me because, like, I love seeing Pokemon, like, just in their natural habitat, kind of interacting with each other. I think that's such a cool concept, right? That we don't really get to explore much in the regular games, right? Like, yeah, now the main series games has overworld Pokemon, right? But
yeah, in the wild
they don't
area
really, like,
stuff.
they definitely don't interact with each other in the environment, right?
Yeah.
And they all kind of behave the same way in Sword and Shield, right? They're just kind of roaming around mindlessly, right?
So the DLC did a better job.
You get to actually see them do things in Pokemon Snap. Obviously, I'm not saying this is what the main series games are doing. Pokemon Snap gets to just focus entirely on that, right?
Right.
I think that's,
Get to see Pikachu on a surfboard.
yeah.
There you go.
You just get to explore the concepts that the main games don't necessarily let you, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's just a really cool thing. And I hope that the game justifies its presumable $60 price tag.
Yeah. I will say too.
We'll see. That is to be determined, but
I'm excited to see all the
people have been asking for this for a long time. So here it is,
Sure.
internet. New Pokemon
Be
Snap.
excited.
Sure.
So another thing that they showed off in this Pokemon Presents was they announced that the Sword and Shield Isle of Armor DLC would come out right after the presentation. So it just came out right after that. We knew it was going to come out June 17th, but nice to just, hey, here it is. They didn't really reveal any new information in the presentation itself, but Brandon, did you have any general? I know you're the only one who has actually played it so far. Do you have any kind of general, non-spoilery impressions?
Sure. It's not super long. It's about maybe 4 to 5 hours, maybe 4 to 6, depending on what your play style is. Because for me personally, I wasn't really catching a lot of Pokemon. So that would add a lot of extra time for you.
Yeah.
For me, I already have every single Pokemon. So, my thought was, I don't need to catch them. I can just transfer them from home. So I wasn't, trying to catch them all. So if you didn't, if you don't have them all, there is a lot to be done with catching new Pokemon. There's 100 new Pokemon to catch in this DLC. So there's plenty to do there. The story is fun. And the wild area is great, honestly. It feels like what I wish the whole game was in terms of the wild area. There's no routes on the island. Basically, the whole entire island itself is wild area.
Yeah.
But there's different different regions and zones of the wild area that you go through, and I wish that was the whole game. The whole base game, how it was set up, and it was very it's varying. The island has a marshland and a forest and some caves. So and they all seamlessly you go from one to the other. There's no loading screens, and they all look different. They look much nicer than the actual wild area in the regular game too. So that I really liked.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that, right? Because I played a little bit of it myself, and the area, it is a basically new wild area, like you said, right? But it's just so much more naturally integrated, right?
Yeah.
Where there's not first of all, it's not ugly. Right? That helps a lot.
It is not as much open, nothing going on.
Yeah. There's clear points of interest on the map itself, right? Because in the wild area in the base game, it was just essentially a world map for you to get from place to place to place, and then there was overworld Pokemon spread throughout it, right? And each zone very much felt disconnected in the original wild area, right? Which I
didn't feel it didn't feel natural. It was
I didn't really. It felt very disjointed, right? Versus the Isle of Armor, everything just feels a lot more natural. There's a lot more interesting things going on, right? There's it's not just plain flat ground throughout the area, right? There's hills and stuff like that.
there is a little bit in the wild area. This is not to say that the wild area in the original game was bad per se, because I actually still really enjoyed it.
So do I. It's just that but the way I always excused the problems with the wild area was this is a start of them going into this direction. And Isle of Armor goes more into that direction in a way I'm even more happy with, right?
Yeah. And it gives me hope that, you know, they'll keep expanding on it in future games, because they've already done it. They've already done that.
Yeah, I mean, for one, it makes me really excited for the Crown Tundra coming this fall, right? Because that is the meteor expansion. So if Isle of Armor, I'm already enjoying it this much, I'm pretty excited for what Crown Tundra has in store. Mm-hmm. And then how they take these lessons going into the next generation of Pokemon, whether that be 2 years from now or whenever, right?
One of the things I really like, too, is even some of the Pokemon act a little bit different. You have Emolga. Like, if you go in the forest, there's Emolgas that, like, fly from tree to tree.
Oh, that's really neat, and something that wasn't really in the base game, right?
No, it wasn't. No, not at all. All the Pokemon just popped out of the grass and walked around. And that was like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's Emolgas like flying around there, and they like fly from tree to tree. And the only way to get them down is to do the whistle thing, and then they come diving at you. Mm-hmm. And it's just really neat. You know, it's different. They're already having, you know, look at the Pokemon like are behaving differently than they did before too, which is really cool.
Yeah, so like you can really see Game Freak improving more and more in this open world style, which I think is very exciting.
I want to talk about one spoiler.
Okay, go for it.
It is very minimal spoiler. I'm sure you've seen it. You know, if you follow Pokemon, you've probably seen it on the internet already. But they listen to the cries of the fans.
Yes.
You can have a Pokemon follow behind you at a certain point in the story, and it's only in the DLC area, on the Isle of Armor itself. But it's very cool. You just have your Pokemon, whatever Pokemon you have, you can just have them. You're the leader in your party, like Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Any Pokemon can follow you behind you, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the. I mean, it's such a little thing, right? If you think about it, like, oh, the Pokemon follow you, it's not like a game or whatever, right? But it really does add to your camaraderie with your Pokemon, right? Just being able to see them explore with you out, and that's one of the most like one of the most beloved features from fans, right? From Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they didn't put that in the presentation, like as a little bit of a like, you know.
Yeah, I didn't know it was in there, like at all.
Like
until
that was
it
a
happened.
complete surprise. Yeah, I just saw it on Twitter after people started playing. I was like, what? You know, like, and so this is just really cool.
Is it?
I would say so. Yeah.
Is it just in Armor, or is it in the main game?
So it's so if you go back to one of the base game areas, the Pokemon stop following you. It's only in the Isle of Armor, but the Isle of Armor area is pretty big in of itself, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, I think this really, if this is just the appetizer, I'm really excited for Crown Tundra later, you know? Because this is already really good. I would already recommend this DLC, because to me, Isle of Armor is already, if you want to make a comparison to, say, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, right? I think this game is already this DLC is already more worth it than Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were, you know?
Oh.
So,
yeah.
I feel pretty good about it. Alright, well, that's Pokemon Sword and Shield. We got couple little more things to go. So they announced a new free-to-play game for Switch and mobile, Pokemon Cafe Mix. It's a little puzzle game, kind of in the style of like Pokemon Troze or Pokemon Shuffle. It has a different gimmick to it, right? You kind of like, I don't really know how to explain, but you kind of link together, like in a circle, the same Pokemon faces, right?
Yeah, I don't know how it works, honestly.
It kind of look like a touchpad thing.
Yeah, you definitely have to use the touchscreen for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a analog stick option, but it doesn't seem like it would be conducive to that, right? It definitely needs the touchscreen on that one. You can preload it now. It also has these cute little, so like the Pokemon Cafe, both the customers and the staff are Pokemon, right? And it has this very cute, I think, hand drawn like art style to it. For these, I guess, cutscenes. I don't know. I don't know what they're used actually for in game, but it has a good style to it, right?
Mm-hmm. I like the Snubble. The Snubble is really cute.
Yeah. And I don't know when it actually comes out. I don't think they said. It's just coming soon, right?
Right. But you can pre-download it.
Yeah, you can already pre-download it though on Switch, and you can pre-register on iOS and Android. So I imagine it has to be coming soon, right? So that's cool. Cute little game. It's a free-to-play puzzle game, so I'm not really that into it, right? but I assume neither you guys. But I'll try it.
Is it the same developers as the Pokemon Troisy or whatever?
Yes. Same as Pokemon Troisy, same as Pokemon Shuffle. Genius Sonority, also known for previously Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XD.
That's what they're doing now?
That's what they're doing now, yeah. They make puzzle games now.
Fuck?
Little match, not 3, but, matching puzzle games is what they make these days.
Put them on some spin-off, RPGs, I think. Whatever,
Pokemon Go, they had a little bit of updates on that. Mega Evolution is coming, which also probably means that Gen 6 Pokemon are coming. If they're not already in, Brandon, you correct me on that?
They are not in there yet.
Okay, they're not in there yet. So Gen 6 Pokemon, I imagine, are coming soon because, hey, Mega Evolutions are coming. They also had a Galarian Farfetch'd, and they showed off that, hey, Pokemon Go Fest, and just the game lately. They've added over the course of they've added it before, but we haven't talked about it. And I think this is actually really cool. So in the wake of this COVID-19 pandemic, it's not really recommended for you to go outside and socialize and whatnot, right? And they've added a lot of features to allow you to play from home while all this is going on.
Yeah.
And Pokemon Go Fest in particular, which used to be at a physical location, now kind of anyone can join from their home. And I think that's really neat. That they're adding these features that, hey, look, we understand that you can't go outside, which is the main gimmick of the game, right? Mm-hmm. You still have options here, and I think that's cool. So,
man, I really wanted to Pokemon go to the polls.
Well,
fucking 4-year-old joke.
Finally, and this is actually what they started the presentation with, but we're ending it because it is the smallest piece of news, I would say. Pokemon Smile, this is a kid's app. I wouldn't even call it a game. It's an app, right? That helps you brush your teeth properly. You use Pokemon like Pikachu, Eevee, Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur to kind of help you. You get, it's like a little game. You get points and stuff, right? The better you brush your teeth. I think that's a cute way to I think clearly with projects like this and Pokemon Sleep and even Pokemon Go, which encourage walking, right? I think that they're very into the idea of, hey, let's use these Pokemon to get people to be healthier, right? Which I think, you could spin it in multiple ways. I choose to see it as, that's a pretty good, noble goal. Conversely, you could see it as them just trying to make sure their brand is in every part of your life.
Gotta indoctrinate the next generation, baby.
Indoctrinate the next generation. So, depending on how you see it, this could be a cool thing or an awful thing. That's on you.
I can't wait to pick this for the game club.
Just brush your teeth every day.
Game club game.
God.
Brush your teeth for 2 weeks.
For the rest of my life.
I didn't think that was really a problem people have.
I'm just thinking
Not
of
people,
the negatives,
children.
possibly. Twitter gets wild. What can you do?
Just show your kids a picture of a meth head's teeth, and it's this is what happens when you don't brush your teeth. Problem solved.
Wait, are you saying that not a problem? People brushing? I think it's fine to hey, encourage. I mean,
it's to teach your kids proper.
I think the key here is proper brushing, right? Because a lot of people brush their teeth every day. They don't properly brush their teeth.
Kids don't look forward to brushing their teeth. So it's a thing to make them be oh, I want to brush my teeth today. I can catch a Pokemon, So
it just kind of makes it easier to make it part of a kid's daily routine, right?
Sometimes you tell your kid to brush your teeth. They say no. You say you fucking better, or I'm going to take away your Nintendo Switch, and then and now you don't have to take away their Nintendo
Switch. Now you
Switch.
can encourage them with positivity.
Just show a dude with rotten teeth and this is your future, and then the problem solved.
Yeah,
you're not going to be a very good parent, Seth.
Get him.
You show them the book of Big British Smiles, and then
problem solved.
How deep do you think this game is? How many Pokemon are there?
I was wondering that. I almost downloaded it. I really thought about downloading it just to find it.
So I downloaded it. I haven't tried it yet. I will give impressions next week.
Tell me if there's a national text so that we can write for this.
Because if there are only 10 Pokemon or 50 Pokemon, after 50 days, what's the point?
Kids get entertained very easily. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, by then it'll be a habit, though. You know, you will form a habit, a lifelong habit, which is a good thing.
Lifelong, damn.
Lifelong. All right. Well, that's enough about Pokemon. Pretty good presentation overall. Oh, I should say they did tease next week. They're also doing another Pokemon Presents for a big project that they weren't ready to talk about just yet.
You know, it's got to be big if they're saving it for its own damn thing.
Yeah,
so.
It's getting its own thing. Now, we can talk about some of the speculation a little bit. It'll all be worthless next week, however, but, you know. So people saw a lot of Johto plushes in the background, so people are like,
it's going to be worthless one day after we upload this podcast.
Yeah, it's completely worthless. But, you know, I will say, the Johto plushes, that's just literally the newest line of plushes, so calm your shit, people.
I saw a lot of that.
It's literally just they're showing off the newest line of plushes. That's it. That is all that is. And then the other thing that people are expecting, I think this is what's more accurate actually, is last year Pokemon they announced they're partnering with Tencent for a mobile game, and Pokemon Go obviously is a big deal for Pokemon Company. You can see their profits skyrocket since it came out and continued to stay at that level. Obviously, I think they want another big mobile hit, especially after Pokemon Masters flopped.
Don't put this on me.
Look, I'm just... we have to be realistic. This is probably what that is.
Don't put this on me. I was actually looking forward to this. Now I'm worried.
Yeah, well, don't look forward to it.
You're going to have to catch them all again.
Hey, you got new Pokemon Snap, okay? Whatever this is.
Yeah, that's what he wanted.
Yeah, the only reason I wanted that is so people can stop asking for it.
Yeah, well, you know what I can do. Okay. Well, that's enough of that. Another brand new game was announced, by the way, this week. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory.
Oh my god.
New Kingdom Hearts game. Oh my god.
Fucking snore.
Just by the name, you could probably guess it is a rhythm game. A rhythm action game, I guess. It kind of in the not really in the style of Theatrhythm on the 3DS, but you know, it is a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game. You actually kind of control your characters though, like you see them from not over the shoulder. Is it over the shoulder? No.
That was behind the back.
Behind the back. That's the word I'm looking for. Behind the back view, right? You get to play as Kairi, I think, in one of the segments.
I have no fucking idea what's going on.
This is, by the way, going to be very major key to the overall story continuation of Kingdom Hearts.
Why?
Oh my god.
Because everything is.
It's already begun, okay? You gotta play Kingdom Hearts Dark Road on mobile. You gotta play this rhythm game. It's starting, baby. The new
fucking
era
done.
of Kingdom Hearts is off to a great start. I
was legit thinking about making that joke. It's like I can't.
No.
See how
that's gonna happen. That's like actually gonna happen. Come on, it's gonna. Yeah. So you know.
I'm so fucking done with Kingdom Hearts, bro. Jesus.
This is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. First Switch Kingdom Hearts game.
Wow. Sora confirmed for fucking Super Smash Brothers.
Sora confirmed for Super Smash Brothers.
I mean, look, Cloud was in a rhythm game first on the Nintendo console.
Yeah,
now Sora is.
It's
the rite of passage.
That there were other Kingdom Hearts games on fucking DS and shit.
We're talking about main console.
Well,
right?
GBA.
Oh, never mind. The DS game was the 3DS game.
Well, there was a DS game, a 3DS game, and a GBA game.
Yeah, but you know, we don't count those.
There's actually two DS games.
Was there?
2 DS?
Coded.
Yeah, there
Coded was.
Recoded
and Recoded. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, well, the DS, huh?
I personally cannot wait until for the moment where you have to fight off fucking Xehanort Prime or whatever version of Xehanort it is through the medium of dance. That's going to be fucking amazing.
Is it though?
Rhythm, not dance. They don't dance. They're still fighting. You just have the fight in the rhythm. Okay. So.
Well, some would say fighting is a dance.
Well, okay. All right. You know what? You're right.
I'm not opposed to rhythm games. I like rhythm games. So I might pick this one up. I don't know. We'll see.
The only rhythm game I care about is where the fuck is Harmonite 2?
Where Harmonite 2? You know, that's a good question. So Kingdom Hearts, by the way, is coming out this year. In case you're wondering.
That's what they're announcing next week.
Melody Memory. So we have other news though. Persona 4 Golden was at the PC gaming show because it came to PC that very same day. Now, this is big news for a couple reasons. Number one, Persona has never been on PC before. So this is a big step for the franchise. And anyone could have told you, wow, Persona, that obviously would do huge numbers on PC, right? PC gamers love JRPGs. Well, hey, Atlas didn't realize that until the year of our Lord 2020. But here we are. Persona 4 Golden is on PC. This is also notable, the game they picked, because this game, the upgraded version of Persona 4, was stuck on the PlayStation Vita. There was no other way to play this game, right? So now you are, and that is a console that did not sell very much, right?
And now we have no reason to own Vitas, right?
Now you have no, I think this was pretty much the last major Vita exclusive left, because so many of them have been ported to PS4 or Switch or whatever, right?
My man's really just went out there and said, fuck the Vita.
I actually looked at a list of notable Vita games that were still exclusive that had not been ported to anything else. The list was Uncharted, Golden Abyss,
right?
Killzone Mercenary, and that's it.
Oh my God.
I mean, in Killzone
that's literally it. That's the that's the extent of it. I guess Little Big Planet Vita, but they made Little Big Planet 3 after that, so all right. Yeah, so Vita, not much left to it. Happy that this game that is so widely beloved is able to be accessed by so many more people. It actually launched at a pretty cheap price too, $20, right? And it broke records. It is, outside of the Dark Souls games, it is the highest. It has the highest, most concurrent players at a time on Steam. Period, for the JRPG franchise. Genre. The previous record holder was Final Fantasy 15. So, it was a pretty big deal, I would say. Persona. Wow, I can't believe it sells well on PC, right? Wow.
Well, I mean, this was like one of the most highly regarded Persona games. JRPGs in general,
Yeah. I mean, this was a big, And what's encouraging for Persona on PC in the future, perhaps. So, Catherine Classic was the first Atlas game ported to PC, and that game was done by Sega Europe. And that was clearly Sega Europe just asking Atlas for scraps, right? Atlas is owned by Sega. Atlas Japan actually ported Persona 4 Golden to PC themselves, which could indicate more heavy interest on the platform from Atlas in the future. So maybe we get Persona 3.
The floodgates have opened.
5. Maybe Persona 6 comes day and date to PC. Who knows? We're in a brand new world out there. So this is this is big news,
Pretty exciting. Yeah.
Cool stuff. In other news, we also got another event that happened. I would say not as well received as the Pokemon Presents, and that would be EA Play 2020. This was a presentation, all right. I don't even know where. So let's go with the good stuff first, okay? The big closer was Skate. A brand new Skate game is in development. However, they did this in probably the least hype way possible. We didn't get a logo trailer. We didn't get any alpha footage or people even looking at screens doing content. Nothing like that. Nothing. We just got developers being like, yeah, we're making a new Skate game. We heard you guys. It's happening.
This is so weird because, aren't there 3 different skating games already, being developed right now? What the fuck?
Well, yeah, but, Skate 4, well, you could probably say it's just a meme. But I think there was a lot of people who genuinely love this franchise.
I don't doubt it, but is this the time to bring it out again?
I mean, it's been a while, right? And hey, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is coming back this year. Right?
I mean, that's what I mean. It's a little bit crowded for them right now.
Oh, sure. I mean, but the thing is, this game is clearly very early in development, right?
Yeah,
so
I guess.
Who knows when it'll come out? Plus, I think a new game is different from a remaster, right?
Well, I mean, you also have Skater XL and Skatebird or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, but I do think people specifically like this franchise, though. And so and yeah, sure. Hey, maybe the whole kind of I guess what you call it genre, but this whole style of games is kind of seeing a resurgence. You could say.
Maybe.
Cool for skate fans, skateboarding fans. I just kind of wish we I mean, they could have made this. I mean, this was a very layup of an announcement, right? Of because this has been a meme for so long. Skate 4. They could have announced this even just a logo trailer akin to Metroid Prime 4, I think would have got people hyped, right? But they just did it in the most bizarre way possible. Which I think kind of is an undercurrent of this entire stream. So we can go into that. So, as far as new announcements go, they did have 3 brand new EA Originals, which if you don't know, EA Originals is their indie publishing label, right?
It's the best games that they put out, I will tell you that.
It's the best games that they put out in the last couple of years, for sure. So we have a new game from Joseph Fares and Hazelight Studios, the creator of previously Brothers and A Way Out.
Fuck the Oscars.
Fuck the Oscars. You may know him from that. He was at the Game Awards, said fuck the Oscars. And his new game title is called It Takes Two. Does anyone really know how to explain this game? We didn't really see much of it, I would say. It was very much teaser.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was talking about it, but I don't know if him explaining it really even got me to feel what the hell was going on.
It kind of like, it was just a lot of words that went in one ear and not the other.
Yeah.
It was just like, he was saying a lot of things and I don't know what you're saying.
I feel like everything he was saying was just him explaining his other games at the same time. And those are good games too, but I don't know. They didn't show like the gameplay. They showed the logo and they showed like environments, like in just like single screen environments, So yeah, it's hard to say, but I mean, knowing his past work, sure, I'll look forward to it.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't really learn much from it. So it's coming out next year, so that's something, right? But I would have liked to see more. I would say for sure.
Yeah.
Then we got a game from Zoink Studios, who made Faye previously with EA. And this game is also coming next year. It's called Lost in Random. It's got kind of a Tim Burton aesthetic, I would say. It's an adventure game, a fairy tale. They call it a gothic fairy tale action adventure.
This was I think this was my favorite game that was shown here.
Yeah, easily. I would say so, yeah.
Easily, not that I had a lot of
as in, like, there wasn't much competition. Right?
Yeah. But it was very cool looking, very, like you said, very Tim Burton-y, and I liked the character designs, and the dice was very...
There's a random element that we don't exactly know about yet, but your partner character is a dice, right?
Yeah.
A die.
A die, I guess, yeah. And so, the name is Dicey, by the way. That's a living dice companion, Dicey. And they're trying to break the curse of random. So, Yeah, I mean, this game is cool. We don't really know exactly how it plays, I would say. We saw some combat in there. It's an adventure game, right?
Yeah.
Look neat,
action
though.
adventure.
Uh-huh.
I'm definitely interested in this game going forward. So, I'm excited for it.
Same.
Then we got the last one, Rocket Arena. This one actually comes out the soonest, July 14th. This is a 3v3 shooter. It is it's not really like your normal shooter game, I would say. Like, it's more objective based. I guess in a way similar to Overwatch, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Overwatch isn't really it plays very much like Smash Brothers in a way, where your goal is to knock the opponent off of the platforms, right? That is your goal. And so it's not really about killing each other necessarily, right? It's not about HP or anything like that. It's just simply, hey, knock your opponents off. As the name would imply, rockets are your primary weapon. It's got like a cartoony aesthetic. It looks cool, and I was really interested in this game until they said it was not free to play, and then my interest kind of died, to be real with you.
It does look very much like a free to play game.
And actually, it was supposed to be free to play. This game was actually, and I didn't know this, and I think a lot of people when they saw this game for the first time, but this was actually a game that Nexon, a pretty famous mobile publisher, Nexon was going to publish this game, and it was going to be free to play. At some point, Nexon dropped it, EA picked it up, and EA turned it into a paid game. But it still has like a battle pass and stuff like that you would expect from a free to play game. So I just kind of feel like making this game a purchase, maybe sending this game out to die, because especially because like a game like this lives and dies off its community, right?
Yeah, if I would be more fine with it if it was purchased, but all future updates and stuff to this game will be free, like that kind of thing.
And I think that probably will be the case, but there is a battle pass, right? So similar to your Fortnite.
Yeah, because like Overwatch, you have to buy Overwatch, but Overwatch is they're constantly. I mean, they've been upgrading that game, adding stuff and free shit to that game for what, like 3-4 years now, 3 years, and that's okay. With
Overwatch was an easier sell, though. I mean, partially though because they also had a AAA marketing budget behind it for people to purchase it. Right? This is an indie game. I doubt EA is going to be putting that kind of marketing muscle into this game.
No, they're not. So yeah,
and it's a smaller scale game, right? So yeah,
you know how much this game's going to cost? Like, if it's $10, I think it might be a little bit more
acceptable.
Yeah.
And it is worth noting this is full crossplay between PS4, PC, Xbox One, and this is I think it was kind of a theme of this whole presentation, right? Another major theme was, hey, EA games, if you don't know, on PC they've kind of you've had to use Origin. Is it called Origin?
EA Origin, yeah.
Yeah, and since this month, they've been adding a bunch of their back catalog to Steam. They're going to be launching their games day and date going forward on Steam as well. It's kind of funny to see in this world where we see more and more publishers abandoning Steam in favor of either their own thing or Epic Game Store. And EA was the one who kind of started this trend, right? And they're coming back to Steam. I think that's kind of funny in its own way.
I mean, I'm glad Origin is dying.
Yeah.
So it is worth knowing though these games do still require you to download Origin, but you'll have them on Steam. And yeah, full crossplay should make it, should make this game in particular, hopefully find it easier to find a continued player base, right? But yeah, so that's Rocket. I already forgot what it's called.
Rocket Arena.
Rocket Arena. Yeah. And then this week, this was announced just before the show, but then they expanded upon it during the show, announced in the same week though. Star Wars Squadrons. This is a game by EA Motive. It is a smaller scale game. It's a $40 game, and it's a 5v5 dogfight game. Right? You're in the I don't know what Star Wars ships are called.
X-Wing?
X-Wings
and stuff.
TIE fighters.
TIE fighters.
Yeah. All that shit. That's all in there. Okay.
Oh my
gosh. What I find interesting about this game, this is not like a you actually, the view is first person inside the cockpit, right?
Yeah.
And so you kind of see all the things inside your cockpit. And I think that's a very unique take, right? We don't see this very often, right?
I mean, to force it is unique, yeah.
Huh?
To force it in that perspective, yes.
Yeah, to force it, I guess. Yeah, like the game only plays in this way, right?
It's like the very classic, I don't know if you ever played, the very old arcade Star Wars game that had this perspective.
Uh-huh.
And it used vector graphics. I don't know if you know about those, but they're all like black background with these like very neon looking lines, like very bright lines. And yeah, I mean this is very much reminds me of that. And that game honestly like blew my mind when I first played it when I was a kid. And I can see a lot of people because you feel like you're really, piloting an X-Wing or a TIE fighter. And
but I can imagine like being in a fucking TIE fighter with all those lines on the screen or whatever.
The TIE fighter seemed a little cramped.
Yeah.
It really did.
Hey, well that's what it's like to be inside a TIE fighter, okay?
Yeah.
I guess on the immersion aspect, there's also VR support. PSVR and PC VR.
Oh, there is? Oh,
yes.
That's cool. I didn't even notice
that. I think that's a big selling point for VR, right? Especially if
that's
you're a
like
Star
one
Wars
of the coolest.
person.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest VR things I've heard of. Damn, that's cool as fuck.
So that's really cool. It has full crossplay. There is a campaign though. I should mention this is a 5v5 multiplayer game primarily, but it does have a campaign in there, right? I don't know. I think this game looked cool. This is probably the game we saw the most of in this show, right? It's coming out soon, October. Full crossplay is great. As you know, I'm glad that they're doing that, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. I don't know. You guys have any more thoughts on that game?
I do like the premise of the single player. I hope they kind of like make it work, and the idea of you are taking the perspective of both sides when doing a single player. So you're taking the perspective of the X-wing pilot and their crew, and you same for the TIE fighter pilot and their crew as well. And I hope this sounds like something that could be narratively fun, and I hope they don't drop the ball on that one. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the campaign's not just shoehorned. We'll see. I think it being a discount release does also make it easier to pick up maybe at launch, right? Because, hey, $20 less than a normal AAA game. That's pretty cool. And I imagine this game is going to get updates for quite a while, right?
For sure, yeah.
That's Star Wars Squadrons. And that was kind of it for new announcements. So 3 indie games, Star Wars Squadrons.
They kind of teased Dragon Age 4.
You missed one.
And then, so let's talk about the bullshit. Yeah?
Well, I want to say one thing that I think you missed I think is a decent announcement is that Apex Legends is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about that real quick. Yeah, so Apex Legends. So I guess I did want to.
That's all I wanted to say. I don't really
No. Yeah. No, but I did want to mention 2 quick things. So I mentioned the Steam thing. I think a big theme of this event also was, hey, we're coming to new platforms, and those new platforms being Steam and Nintendo Switch, right? And so they put a lot of games on Steam. They also said, so Apex Legends is coming to Switch this fall, and it's going to get crossplay. Crossplay was another big theme of this event, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting crossplay, it's coming to Switch, which is great. I'm excited to play that game on Switch. I love Fortnite on Switch. I like Apex Legends a lot, but would play a lot more if it was on Switch. So hey, I got what I wanted, right? And EA said, hey, we're over the next 12 months, we are bringing 7 games to the Switch, which I think is more games than they've put out total so far in the 4 years that the Switch has been out.
They're finally learning that there's money to be made there.
I don't know what changed, but clearly they're far more interested in the platform now. So of those 7 games, the ones we know about so far are Burnout Paradise, coming out this month. Apex Legends is coming this fall. FIFA 21 Legacy Edition is coming. It got legacied, but what can you do? It's still legacied, I guess I should say. And Lost in Random is coming to Switch. So there's 3 more EA games coming over the next 12 months, besides those, to Switch. That's cool. Cool stuff.
Interesting.
Now let's talk about the bullshit. Okay? So this game, I mean, we can be honest. 3 indie games, while they were cool, and then Star Wars Squadrons, which is a smaller scale game, also cool. But overall, it was a very nothing conference, right? There was a lot of talking, and I think the biggest missing part of this showcase, the biggest maybe worrying part of the showcase, I would say, it doesn't seem like EA is prepared for next gen, is kind of my main takeaway, right?
Yeah.
Even the sports games that we know will be there at launch, we didn't really see any real footage of the next gen versions, right? Of Madden or FIFA. We know that they're going to get next gen upgrades, right? But in terms of actually seeing them, we didn't really get that. We saw a little glimpse of they showed a bunch of developers with EA loves to do this, right? Of hey, here's what they're working on off-screen footage, right? and here's a little there was a weird tech demo with environments that were clearly just plain blocks and stuff, right?
I feel like they've been doing this kind of shit forever,
Forever, yeah, for sure. They love to do this kind of thing. Though specifically, I should say, they tease next-gen titles from Criterion, which looked like some kind of racing game, which, I guess.
Well,
right?
I mean, they've been making Need for Speed for a while now. I wish they would make a Burnout game. That'd be cool, but it would,
Seemed to be some sort of dark fantasy game from BioWare.
Probably Dragon Age.
Probably Dragon Age, yeah. A war game from DICE, probably Battlefield, right? So probably Need for Speed, probably Dragon Age, probably Battlefield, and then a highly ambitious and innovative new game that puts the power and creativity in your hands.
Jesus Christ.
From Motive Studios. What a mouthful. So presumably a new IP, right? So that's kind of the next step. But we didn't really see any concrete thing from any of those games, right? Which I think is bizarre. And just in general, there was just a lot of fluff in this thing, right?
A lot of self jerking off, you know. I think they just were like, they were really feeling themselves, which was just like, come on, EA.
And it was just a whole, like, why even do this presentation, you know? And then the biggest thing that was missing, so this is strongly rumored, Mass Effect Trilogy is supposed to be, we talked about this, Mass Effect Trilogy is supposed to be launching, and we know that, because they said in their fiscal, like, to their investors, hey, we're launching a remaster this fiscal year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they put Mass Effect in this presentation? I'm sincerely confused. Like, we know that a remaster is going to come out by March. Jeff Grubb, who's been right about pretty much everything, has said it's coming out this year even. That's such an easy way to get people hyped. Why not announce it here? You know? I just don't get it. I don't know. EA, they continue to just kind of suck. Right?
I mean...
And usually... Yeah, sorry?
Mass Effect Trilogy is nice and all, but, I mean, Mass Effect Andromeda is where it's at. Where's that game?
I mean, alright, yeah. That's a take. But, you know, I don't know. Like, EA, usually we suffer through these conferences because we have other E3 conferences to look forward to. It's usually just the start of E3, right?
Mm-hmm.
This year, I don't know why we suffered. I don't know why we went through this.
I mean, you suffered because you have an addiction. I didn't watch that shit.
Yeah.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Why are we still... Yeah. So that's EA Play. It's kind of a nothing conference, I would say. Some cool games, but nothing major, and it just... I don't know.
I wouldn't say nothing. We talked for, like, 10
We talked for a while. There was, like, cool game, but it's just, like... I just don't... Like, they just... I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them in terms of next gen, you know?
I mean, you hate Dicey. Just fucking put it out there.
Yeah. Just Dicey.
No. We don't hate. We stand Dicey.
We stand Dicey. Okay. One last piece of news before we can move on. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, has been leaked from Taiwan.
That is the subtitle, by the way. It's about time.
It's about time.
He's not just saying that it is about time.
Though it is about time.
It
is. Yes, and I'll tell you why.
It's not.
But though, funnily, so usually rating awards leak, we just kind of get like the name of the game, right? This one was a little bit more extensive because we saw the box art. We saw the box art, and we got a synopsis of the game. So basically, Crash found a mask in a cave. These are quantum masks. There's 4 of them on the box art. So that kind of seems to be the theme of the game, is these multiple masks that can shift time or go through dimensions or whatever, right? And I want to talk about the title of this game, because I think... So, presumably we're going to see it Monday, Summer Games Fest, so we'll have a lot more in detail to talk about, like, in terms of how the game looks and all that next week, right? But calling it Crash Bandicoot 4, I think, is a statement, right? I mean, even the subtitle, right, is really driving that in, right? Of, hey, we know you loved the trilogy. We know that you don't like the games after the trilogy. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it's saying. It's saying just ignore all the other games.
Ignore everything that came after Crash Bandicoot Warped, right?
Yeah.
This is a game that is in the style of the Naughty Dog games that you love so much. And that excites me, because this is a game that I have been waiting for a long time. I love Crash Bandicoot is one of my favorite franchises, right? It was a childhood nostalgia for me.
Good games. I mean, Wrath of Cortex fans out there are really sad today.
Yeah, I saw some people, and I didn't know these people existed, but I saw some people out there who are like, I can't believe that they're erasing Wrath of Cortex from history. Is it really that hard to believe? You know, come on, guys. Come on. It's really like, I don't know. But, you know, I played Wrath of Cortex as a kid, and even as a kid I knew something's wrong here. This is not the game I liked. And later I learned why, right? Because Naughty Dog stopped making them.
Different developer, right?
Different developer.
Speaking of developer, you mentioned Crash 4 is Toys for Bob.
It's developed by Toys for Bob, which is surprising because Vicarious Visions, they're the ones who did the remaster for the trilogy, right? Toys for Bob did the remaster for Spyro.
Right.
So that is notable that Toys for Bob is making this. I wonder if that means... I'm a little disappointed, not because I don't have faith in Toys for Bob. I actually am very excited for a Toys for Bob Crash Bandicoot game. But I wonder if that pushes back a Spyro sequel a little bit then, right? I guess it's to be expected because Vicarious Visions has their hands full with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater remastered, right?
Yeah.
But because I was kind of hoping like Vicarious Visions would make Crash, Toys for Bob would make Spyro, Beanox would make Crash Team Racing, and that would kind of be like the annual cycle, right? We'd get a Crash game, we get a Spyro game, we get a CTR game, and just kind of go from there, right? This kind of disrupts that a little bit. So maybe
if Vicarious Visions comes out and starts making a Spyro game, I'll be like, what the fuck is going on?
That would be really funny, wouldn't it? Like, oh yeah, Spyro game, that's made by Vicarious Visions.
Maybe Spyro's in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater too now.
It's kind of weird also just because it's like, I mean, Toys for Bob did help with the Insane Trilogy, right? So it's not like they don't have any experience with Crash.
Mm-hmm.
But I really thought those trilogies were training wheels for that specific studio, you know? Which is just a weird, funny thing. But yeah, so Toys for Bob is making it. We'll see it next week. We'll talk about it next week. But I'm cautiously optimistic. You know, Crash has let me down before, but those trilogies were really good. So
fingers crossed.
We'll see you next week. Okay, that's the news. That we got one more segment to talk about, though. Of course, gotta end this podcast the same way we always do, and that is with the list.
The list.
So you can follow us along in the pastebin in the description below, because the list, it is not a best of list, right? But it is what we do. Every week we add a game and we rank it against every other game we've added before. So once we add it to the list, it stays on the list, and then we start ranking against those games. So we've added quite a bit to this list. We've added 192 games. We're about to add our 193rd game. Last week I added Horizon Zero Dawn. That got to number 45. Number 45. Today, it's Brandon's turn. Brandon,
Yes.
What do you want to add?
What I want to add is hold on. Let me fucking get the list up because I closed it on my computer earlier.
No problem.
But anyway, the game that I want to add, I guess I'm going to go with a theme because we were talking about this game earlier, kind of. During the E3, or not E3, during the EA thing. And I want to add, since It Takes Two's coming out, I figure why not talk about Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
Wow.
Okay, well, I haven't played it, so I'm out.
Okay. Pretty sure Staff and Ills have, though.
Yep, I definitely did.
All right, go for
There
it.
we go. So, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. It is a single-player adventure. That's surprising, because you play as two brothers. And you control both of them. And you use one analog stick for one brother and one for the other one. And it's very simple controls. So one stick for one brother and one for the other. One trigger for one brother and one trigger for the other. So you control them both simultaneously. And it's an adventure game. Kind of story-driven adventure game. But there's really not dialogue. All the characters speak in like gibberish, kind of. But it's all told through these like cutscenes. You clearly tell the emotions and everything of these characters without actually knowing what they're saying. You know, the game does a very good job of displaying emotion through all the character interactions. So it takes place in this like fairy kind of fairy tale medieval kind of world,
Like a grim fairy tale.
Yeah, and the brothers go out basically on a quest because their father has fallen ill, and they have to go get the antidote from this big giant like tree of life kind of thing. And it's very far away, so they have to go on this quest to go get it and bring it back to the village to cure their father. And I won't talk about spoilers, but I will say that it is very hard hitting in terms of storytelling, especially at the end. And it does a very good job. I really like it, and I think that the gameplay is unique, and a lot of puzzle solving to be done. Some platforming as well.
Yeah, I would call this a puzzle platformer more than an adventure game.
Yeah. And for the most part, it works very well. I like a lot of the different puzzles that you have to solve, and one of my favorite parts is you go through this like there's like giants in this world, like giants and orcs and stuff, and you going like traversing a giant's house, like his castle, and like you tie like ropes to each other, and you have to like swing across and like climb up the castle together.
Yeah, that part was awesome.
Yeah, that part's very cool. It's just there's a lot. Like I really like the scope of the game, like with the giants.
Well, when you have to glide on that glider, that huge glider.
Yeah, that too.
Dope.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool, unique segments. Like the game is constantly throwing like different things at you and taking you to a lot of different exotic locations and meeting new characters and stuff. And it's a really cool. It's not a very long game, but it's a very fun, short adventure game.
Yeah.
So I like this game a lot, honestly.
With and with some like really effective character development, like especially at the end, like you were saying. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like props to the game without actually having like voice acting with like the gibberish, but you knowing exactly how the characters are feeling, you know, with everything that's going on. I think it's really cool.
I mean, that's what I think that like the most special part about this game is just like how emotive that game is, despite the fact that there's not much that's said verbally said between the two characters, and it's just emotional throughout the entire journey of the gameplay. And the gimmick of like having like the one controller, but you control two characters with both sticks, was really really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you everything you need for that emotional impact. Like a lot of the times, like words just get in the way, so they need all that shit.
Sure.
So where are you thinking about putting it, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a very solid game. You know, I wouldn't say that it's groundbreaking or incredible, but it's definitely a game I think I would suggest anybody to play. I think it's very good. I think I would put it somewhere in the high 60s is what I'm looking at. Maybe like just under Ghost Trick, maybe at number 70.
That's a good place.
That's quite high, but I don't know. I was thinking like above Night in the Woods, but
I mean, I think my problem here is like I think it's below 3D Land, but I think it's I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe I think it's better than The Missing for me personally, at least in terms of gameplay.
Yeah, but I think we've come to the conclusion that The Missing is too high.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what did you say again? You said.
I said initially above Night in the Woods. We can go like up, like above, like Uncharted. That'd be a good place. Hello?
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm just looking at it. I'm thinking. Yeah, I think actually.
Am I remembering it with rose tinted glasses or something? Because I remember enjoying it quite a lot. Like it was quite a really really good experience. Like
Brothers.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was.
It is.
But like it's in good company in that area, right? Like.
Yeah, it's not saying anything. I mean, yeah, because the games around it. Ninja Turtles in Time is way too high.
No, it's not.
Bro. It is.
It's not.
But how is it above? Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. I think it should. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you that Night in the Woods. It's also a good spot for it because all these games around it are also very, very good. So I guess, looking at it originally, seeing The Missing, and then kind of been like, they're both kind of puzzle platformers with an emotional story to tell. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I think this game's better, so I'd put it above it. But looking at the games below it, I mean, I can agree. Like, I would probably put it below Beautiful Joe. in Castle Crashers, and
I don't know about like. I would have put it above Castle Crashers. I would have put it above Kid Icarus. Like I feel as though that would be a better position to put it in personally.
Fine with that.
Would put it above Kid Icarus or below?
I would put it above Kid Icarus. It just, I don't know. It's been like years. Maybe I'm just thinking of it more.
No, it's very good. It's just controlling two characters at the same time makes it a little bit slow. You know, it's very. I mean, that's not exactly a bad thing. It's just very like.
I mean, the pace of the game is quite slow, though, right? Like that's the intent of the game, though.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't like put that as a criticism because like the idea is just kind of like you take in the world and you take in the characters and you just kind of take your time. Just,
it's just like a little bit awkward. You know what I mean? Like it takes some getting used to.
I guess.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
How about below Castle Crashers?
I'll put it below Castle Crashers, sure.
Okay, well, sure.
I mean, I don't know.
Do you think it's better? You think Snatcher is better, Gills?
No. I want to move Snatcher down, but that's a different thing.
Like I don't know. Maybe it's been years. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Like I would have said like it's better than Castle Crashers for me at the very least. But if it's as Muzzy says, it's in good company. Like it's a really good spot to be in, right about that area at the very least. I'm willing to accept that. So anywhere in there should be okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that.
So above 85? Or below?
Below Castle Crashers.
Yep. Below Castle Crashers, so that's number 85. So, surrounding it, we have number 83, Beautiful Joe. Number 84, Castle Crashers. 85, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
Yes.
86, Snatcher. 87, Hotel Dusk. Room 215. So, it's in good company. You know, we look at the numbers and we immediately get like, oh, that's so low, but you know, we have good games all the way into the hundreds. You know? So it's a pretty top heavy list. That was it. That was a podcast. Thank you for listening, Brandon. You want to give us the plugs? And while Brandon does that, Ills, think of something because you're gonna take us out.
You think so?
Well. Hey, if you enjoyed the Jump Up Supercast, make sure you check us out on your favorite podcast listening service of your choice, including SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube, where new episodes of the Jump Up Supercast will go up every single Monday. And as well as the Jump Up Supercast Game Club that I am hosting, and Ills and Noah are always part of. That goes up every other Thursday. This Thursday, there's going to be an episode about Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair, our most recent game that I picked for us to play. And you'll also get to find out not only our opinions on that game and whether or not, if it was possible, but you also get to find out what the next game is as well. Ills is picking a game, so I'm looking forward to that. So give us a follow, a like, or a share. Feel free to let us know what you thought about the podcast, what you thought about all the news that came out this week down in the comments. Support us if you enjoy what we do. $1 a month will get you access to our Discord server, and as well as you can pick some of our game club games that we play once a round. So that's fun as well. You can talk to us about video games and all that. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to stay up to date on everything Jump Up Supercast related. And we even stream sometimes on twitch.tv/JumpUpSupercast. So give us a follow if you want to know when we're playing games. And as always, I want to thank everybody for listening. Go out there, play some video games, and make sure to be nice to each other. And Ills, take us away.
I'm just really glad, in this time of hardship or whatever, that we didn't talk about MPDs today. So fucking glad. Fuck Muzzy.